Hello everyone. So today I'm going to give you a demo on CCNP Security, and the topics we are going to discuss are what type of attacks and what type of VPNs are available. So in security we have information security, which in which we need to understand what is DID. DID is defense in depth. That's the first thing that we need to understand. So defense in depth means that you are putting layers of obstacles into your network or before your network. So those are the kind of security policies, physical security, other kind of security to protect your network. So that means if you get attacked, in that case you get enough time to understand what type of damage an attacker can make or is making, and so you can also you can understand that all the mitigations, what type of mitigations you already have in place, uh, and are they enough to protect your network or not. This also sometimes refers as a onion layer security, as you have seen that around onion, in the onion you have multiple layers of onions similarly. So these layers can be defined into the terms, and you can see the types of layers that we can apply to our network security are kind of these 7. So first is non-technical. When we say non-technical, is related to your guards, security guards and all. And when we say physical, it's your security doors, cameras, biometrics, card readers, all those things. And the perimeter is, you will be having hard walls. Those cannot be broken easily, or the big gates and all, and the fencing. So similarly, when you you have seen, you must have seen in like in the army areas, there are a lot of fencing and high length of walls, so that nobody can do the trespassing and all those things. The network security is again, you when you are putting the policies to block this, block what kind of network, what kind of packets, IP addresses, ports, all those things. And when we say so network security is again, it's your ASA firewall, adaptive security appliance, that's its covers. And the host security is your local firewall, the machine security, malware protections that you have on your specific machine. The application security is your authentication to the application, and if you have any strong layer, so what do you say, the two-way authentication enabled for your application to log in. The data security, so you are protecting your data into the data servers or the NAS servers. So this is kind of that we understand that defense in depth before going into that. So similarly, the types of attacks in this case can be segregated by the layers. So as you have studied in your basic thing, it's OSI model you have learned. So similarly, according to that, we have layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 types of attacks. So layer 1 is your physical security, where that can be breached, or the perimeter, that wall can be broken, or the physical security can be breached. That is your L1 attack. And layer 2 attack is on your devices, actually, that maybe that switches or the wires, somebody is cutting into that and then connecting into your wires in between. And that is also called as identity-based network services. So in layer 2 attacks, we have different types of attacks. One is MAC spoofing attack. Another is ARP poisoning attack. Another one is DSCP snooping, VLAN hopping, man in the middle attack. A lot of others are there. So let's understand what exactly they are. So when we say the MAC spoofing attack, so MAC spoofing attack is when somebody is spoofing. So the name is telling you everything. So somebody is spoofing your MAC as to the server where you are connecting. So let's say the switch which you are connected, and with that, some user is trying to become you, and trying to send the packet that I am from this MAC address. So for example, the two hosts are talking with each other and they know the MAC address of each other because they have already communicated. So in that case, they must have their own ARP table and known that the MAC address. ARP table is address resolution protocol, and when you do the ARP-A on the PC, the command, it will show you that the MAC addresses of all the IP addresses of all the devices that you have connected or communicated at least once. So I was telling you that when two hosts are communicating with each other, but somebody wants to become you and trying to understand what types of packet you're going to receive from another end, what he will do is he will try to become as you. So once he learned your MAC address, or he knows your MAC address, in that case, he will change the MAC address in the packets and send the packets towards the network. In that case, when the switch opens the traffic or the packet, or the data you are sending, it will understand that this packet is coming from that specific MAC address and sends to the another host. Once that host will be receiving that packet and open the MAC address, and he will be replying onto that packet. So the similar packets can be reached to the another destination. So in that case, you were communicating to one host, and that host is now again sending or the traffic back to you as well as the defaulter host. So that is the one way of the MAC spoofing attack. So the example of MAC spoofing attack, let me show you if I can. Okay, so if you can see here that this is your switch, and you know that in your switch you will be having the CAM table, content addressable memory, which will be having the port and the MAC address information because it's a layer 2 one. So for example, in this case, the PCA and the PCB, MAC A, MAC B, which is trying to get access, which is communicating already. And what this the hacker will do, the MAC C, which is sitting on this. So obviously he got the access to your switch in that case. So what he's trying to do is he is trying to spoof the MAC address of MAC A and saying that I am MAC A instead of the traffic. So what will happen is switch was sending traffic to this guy, and instead of that, he will be sending traffic to this guy here, to the hacker. So that is called MAC spoofing attack as normal. And then we have the ARP poisoning. ARP poisoning is related to your PC to PC. Let me show you how the ARP poisoning looks like. So ARP poisoning looks like ARP spoofing attack is the ARP table. So if you can say this this system or this machine, what he will do, earlier the communication was this way, right? So when a router or the system or the switch or the system, they are communicating with each other, and but now what this system will do, this system will comes in the middle, and what he did is the ARP table of this router and the ARP table of this machine will get poisoned. How it will get poisoned? It will send an ARP traffic saying that if you the router has changed its MAC or the table. So the attacker will scan the network and determine the IP address of at least two devices because it requires to attack in between, and and then attacker will spoof. It will use a spoofing tool like ARP spoofing, DriftNet. There are a lot of other ARP forged up. So these will send a response to the forged MAC addresses, and will be sending the packet to the belongings, and it will save the MAC address of this system as something new here. For example, earlier the MAC address of the system A here was ABC, but now in this is deleted because this is sending the spoofed ARP saying that now the new MAC address is BBC, which is actually this guy. So he say, okay, so the IP address which was 10.1 over here, earlier it was having MAC address of ABC, and now it is replaced by BBC. So what happens is whenever the traffic is sent back to the route, this PC, but this guy will be sending the traffic to this machine, right? So that is ARP spoofing, that a kind of MAC spoofing. So we'll discuss more in detail. So this is the ARP spoofing attack. Let's check the another one. DHCP spoofing attack. So DHCP is spoofing attack is like, so in your network everybody uses DHCP servers. So when it's a DHCP servers, DHCP server used to provide the IP address to the client machines. So what this hacker will do in between, so these all are kind of man in the middle attack kind of attacks actually. And when the DHCP server originally sending the MAC or sending the IP addresses, assigning the IP addresses to the client machines, it will sit in between and try to become the sorry guys. So it will try to become the DHCP server, and it will spoof the DHCP. So the DHCP spoofing, it will become the new DHCP server. So what exactly it will do is it will get the MAC address from the original DHCP server, and it will assign their same MAC address to him. And similarly, when the packet reaches to switch, and switch will understand that this specific port will be having the new DHCP server or the correct MAC address, so the traffic also will be redirected to this guy, and this guy will spoof the will send the new IP addresses to the machines, and those machines will be redirected to this DHCP server instead of the original one. So the next one is VLAN hopping attack. So guys, VLAN hopping attack is when someone is trying to access the traffic sitting in one VLAN to the another VLAN. So when the two different VLANs, by default, two different VLANs traffic cannot communicate because it's a segregated one. So when a PCA sitting in VLAN 5 is trying to communicate to VLAN 6, which is in the different VLAN, the VLAN 6 PC, so that is called VLAN hopping attack. So guys, these all are the attacks. So to mitigate that, we can do a lot of other things, like we can bind the, so for example, to stop the MAC spoofing attack, we can use the port security. So how it will work in that case? So let me show you that one, the MAC spoofing attack. So what happens is, let's say, select only. So what happens is in this switch over here, we will gonna do the port security. So port security, we will bind this MAC address over here, and we'll see if anyone else on the port is trying to send the same MAC address, we will block that port immediately. Understood? So एक बारी इस वाले स्विच के पोर्ट पे जो भी है, फॉर एग्जांपल ये पोर्ट नंबर 10 है और ये पोर्ट नंबर है 11, तो हम यहाँ पर सिक्योरिटी लगा देंगे कि अगर कोई और पोर्ट पर कोई बोलता है कि मेरा मैक एड्रेस ए है जो कि ऑलरेडी पोर्ट नंबर 10A पे है, तो उसको ब्लॉक कर दो पोर्ट को. So that way we will stop the MAC spoofing attack, right? So other one is ARP spoofing attack. So to avoid the ARP spoofing attack, we need to configure the dynamic ARP inspection. So dynamic ARP inspection, what it will do, it will do the inspection at very first, जब सबसे पहले ARP entries बनेंगी, and it will make sure those ARP entries will be correct or not, and it is coming from the exact MAC, exact port or not. So all together, port security and dynamic ARP inspection will work all those together and will protect your entire network. So dynamic arm inspection will need to be configured in that case on the switch, L3 switch. Or then we have DHCP spoofing. For DHCP spoofing, we have the specific term called DHCP binding or DHCP snooping. So that needs to be configured on the device, right? So that way we can, and the VLAN hopping attack, we need to stop using the native VLANs, default VLANs. We need to use the isolated VLANs or the private VLANs in that case to avoid these kind of VLAN hopping attacks. That we will learn later. Okay, and then we have the, so we have understood layer 1, which is physical attack and how it can be prevented. Layer 2, which are these, which can be any of these. Layer 3 or the more layers, layer 7 or layer 6. So those kind of attacks. So specifically layer 3. So layer 3, we know that we have all our routing configured. Let's say you have configured OSPF, PAGRP, and somebody got the access or to your router, or at least just a connectivity to your router, and he is trying to blown out your all routing table. In that case, what he will do is he will inject bad routes to destroy the access to destroy your device or to making it inaccessible. That comes under your DOS, denial of service attack, you can say. So for that, we need to have, to avoid that, to mitigate that, we need to have authentication configured between routing protocols, between your so all other ones that mitigated that we learned how to mitigate other attacks. So all together we will protect the layer 3 attacks as well. So these are the some information on attacks, guys. Next we have the VPN. So guys, VPN is, what is VPN? Normal we say the virtual private network, and virtual private network, VPN is a connection via public network or a secure, or you can say it's a secure tunnel between your public network and you. So let me show you. So before that, types of VPN, guys. So we have only 2 types of VPN when we say VPN: site to site and remote access. This firewall VPN and host to host VPNs is more advanced. We'll understand it later. So when we say site to site, let me show you. So site to site looks something like this. You can see here. So site to site VPN, when, so let's say you have a corporate office over here and this is your remote office. So this site to site VPN is a permanent one. So you have multiple sites or the single site, you have created a tunnel. So guys, these tunnels are virtual. This is not a physical tunnel anyway. So in that case, you are just sending traffic from one office to your remote office securely. So the most important aspect of this VPN is security. Security is to protect your data. So in that case, it will encrypt your data and sending throughout your net, throughout the internet, so that any person sitting under the internet and trying to hack any traffic, once he will hack, he will open, but he cannot understand anything because he will not be having any key to decrypt that traffic that you are sending to the remote office or to the person. So only the remote office which has the key, only can decrypt this traffic and pass through. So another example, you can see this is the IPsec tunnel. So these are the protocols that will be used in the VPNs. So you can see the similar one of the another one. And this is the example of multiple sites. So this is your one office, another office, and the Chicago office. And you can see IPsec tunnel over here. So these are the kind of permanent tunnels which will be keep using, or maybe they are idle for some time if no traffic is being made. Another VPN is your remote access. So in remote access, it's not like that. Remote access is kind of your the remote access VPN is type of any connect VPN where which is your work from home scenario. So when you want to connect to your office network, you will be dialing to your, you will be connecting, or you will be associating the connection to your office, and you will be having a connectivity. And once you're done, you can disconnect. So that's not a specific permanent connection like site to site have. And most important thing is the VPN so VPN connections, the modes of VPN connection. We have two types of modes. One is tunnel mode that I told you just now, when the traffic is being transferred according to the tunnel, and the transport, which is the most popular one actually, the tunnel mode. And the tunnel mode, you can see the complete packet will be encapsulated with new headers, and the original headers will be hidden. So if you have remember the OSI model, when we have the data, it will attach the headers, that is called encapsulation. So in this case, you can see the new header is attached, new L3 header, and the original L3, L4 or data will be hidden. So these red will be hidden, and these are the new headers. So if anyone open this packet, he will never be seen even the IP information, even your data, nothing, right? But in the transport mode, it will only encrypt the data and the L4 information. It will not encrypt the IP information and the layer to the MAC information. So this is your transport mode. So maybe if you have the connection which cannot have more headers or more heavy packet to be transmitted, so you can use this transport mode. Or wherever it doesn't require to protect your IPs or the L2, L3 information, then you can use this transport mode. Otherwise, everywhere we use this tunnel mode. So as I told you, the protocols used for these site-to-site and remote access VPNs are many. Like we say IPsec tunnel we can make, or these are the tunnel modes you can say. L2TP, layer 2 tunneling protocol, point-to-point tunneling protocols. This normally used between the Microsoft devices when they create the tunnel between the servers. SSL, GRE tunnel, and MPLS. So these are the more advanced guys. Again, just I am telling you for knowing at least. And then if you talk about detail IPsec. So IPsec is a framework. Sorry, IPsec is a framework, and it's integrity key exchange. The sessions which is made between the IPsec is called IKE sessions. So IKE phase 1, IKE phase 2 will study in detail. And to see the session details, so to understand, to troubleshoot the session is initiating properly or not, or where exactly we have the issues. So we need to do show crypto ISACAMP asset detail in Cisco devices, and similar to this. And the SSL version, it was earlier 1.0 and 2.0, but now this so the latest version again came, it was SSL 3.0, but that is also depreciated. So SSL 2.0 and 3.0 is depreciated because it is depreciated by the IETF. You must have heard IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force. So they have depreciated this versions, but right now the version is SSL version 1.2, which is currently in use. So we'll study in depth, guys, these VPN topics, how IPsec works, how SSL VPN works. Hope you like. Thank you. Bye.